Okay, welcome everyone to the stream of the third and fourth stage of the final of Trofeo dello Scalatore. Today here with you, it's me, Gifiti, and also Joe. Say hello, Joe. Joe?
He went to the bathroom.
Oh, he entered the bathroom. Thank you, Sean. Sean is one of the players, is the big dog. We hope to interview him after the race. Joe is coming just short.
Hello, everybody.
He's with very serious issues right now. But yeah, sure. He's going to be back soon. It was the best introduction I have ever done for a video. I'm
I
absolutely
always
sure.
have your back, don't worry.
Yeah, as we start, good luck to everyone. So we go.
Good
As
luck
we
to all.
as we start the game, we will review some of the results of last week and comment something. I will try not to talk with the players on the race than on the commentary. But later, for sure, I will have some chat with some of the participants of this event. So yeah, today the first stage is a very classical stage of Vuelta a España, the Angliru stage in Asturias. We have a third category only just on the start of the stage, and then we have a lot of flat kilometers going up till the first important climb of the day, the first category, and then another first category, and finally we will finish with the special category Alto del Angliru. So we are also going to pass through. The first one is Cobertoria, the very typical climb of the Spanish Vuelta. So yeah, and away we go. Let me just take real quick my cyclists out of the race so they don't intervene with the major participants. That is what we really want to see. So here goes Gabi with. Let me just take a brief look at the teams, so we can. I think they are the same as last week, but let's review it. With Nipo Provence, Gabi, the big dog goes with Badgani, Alpecin, Phoenix to Ghosty, Team Jumbo to Dennis, that is the actual leader of the general classification. Ineos goes to Davi, and Movistar to Hush. That's the same teams as last week. So yeah, Joe will be right back, and he will also talk to us a bit about the stage and about the participants. As we enter just the start of the Alto La Regada, where we have the big dog leading the peloton, but no one tried an attack yet. So we think that some kilometers of flat before the climb are very important to make the initial breakaway, and in this case we don't have any. Players are just controlling to not spending a lot of bars and trying to get maybe 2 points in the top, no, sorry, 6 points in the top of this climb. So six important points to the mountain classification. When Joe comes back, we will review some data about last stages and how is the mountain classification. But I'm sure I can tell you that it's led right now by the big dog, followed by Gabi, and a lot of distance behind Davi and Dennis are more or less tied for third place. Golski is fifth and Hush is sixth. And the big dog is the first one to attack once again. He certainly is changing a bit his style of playing in the last few stages. He knows he's not the favorite and he tries to attack to create differences. Dennis is just behind trying to follow him, and with attack with Krujvik and Bennett, exactly the same people as the big dog taking the front. The big dog is going to take all the points of this mountain. Is going to take important 12 points to his team, while Dennis comes just behind. And now it's Ghosty only with Merlier. A strange attack, or not so strange considering the intermediate sprint that is ahead of us. So if Merlier can get to the front group, he probably can get that intermediate sprint that give 5 points to the winner and only to the winner. Everyone else doesn't get anything from the intermediate sprint. So it's quite important for the front group that they don't let Merlier in. But as the big dog stops and Dennis approaches, probably Merlier can join the group soon enough. The peloton is 1 minute behind, with Davi actually trying to attack and take Ben Swift with him. So Kwiatkowski, Ghana, and Ben Swift are trying to attack and get into the front group as we see Merlier joining the front group. Very important move here for Ghosty, as he probably, if the breakaway can maintain the advantage, he will get some points in the intermediate sprint. So I think that's quite an interesting move by Ghosty, and probably will work well for him, giving him 5 points. You never know. For 5 points and for less than 5 points, you decide the winner of this um, Trofeo dello Scalatore, so everything can happen. And now we have an attack. It's Davi and Hush trying to put someone in the front, what actually leaves Gabi as the only one who has no riders on the attack right now. So he works with Navadauskas trying to push Davi and Hush back to the peloton as they try to collaborate to put their riders on the front. And this is an important move by Hush as he has the 80 mountain in the breakaway. He has the 80 mountain there, could be fundamental if he can get to the next climb with some advantage. But to be honest, it's still 40 kilometers to go to this climb, so I don't know if it's going to work. Who is going to work for sure is Gabi. He knows that he cannot leave this breakaway go through with a lot of space because he has no one there.
I think
Ghosty,
Gabby's quite content with it though.
yeah,
With Ghosty as well. Ghosty just has his one guy, the sprinter, for the intermediate sprint purely for that.
exactly. Thank you. Welcome, Joe, to the stream.
I am back, yes.
We entered the stream when you were in important business of your life,
Yep.
so we can understand now that you are with us. So I was reviewing some of the stats of last race, and the big dog leads the mountain classification, and today he already summed, I don't know if you saw it, 12 more points to his personal account with making 1, 2, 3 in the first climb of the day.
Yep,
What do you think?
I think Big Dog has a good chance of taking that KOM jersey. I think with obviously the past success of many of the riders, or the players in this group, I think he's definitely the underdog. However, I think he still has a chance if he can show the form that he showed in the first race day, as well as taking that KOM jersey, he can possibly get a top three here.
Yeah,
Um,
certainly you are right. And do you think this is a strategy that will compensate him on the end? Because winning the stages actually gives way more points than mountain classification. But at the end of the in the end of the day, mountain classification can make the difference between a spot or the other. Do you think it's a good strategy by the big dog, sacrificing some of his not so good riders to try to get this classification?
I think if he manages his effort well, he contributes as little as possible while still obviously contributing to the breakaway. It seems to be that he's protecting the 75 mountain, which is quite obvious. I think that's a good move from him. I don't think keeping that many riders is going to be too important because obviously the Angliru mostly is above 10%, which means teammates are a little bit useless.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's fair to say because obviously there's no point having 2 to 3 teammates helping your leader when the average gradient is going to be of 10%. They're not going to be able to keep up with the pace regardless anyway. Even if they have the yellow bar or not, they're probably not going to have the red bar to survive.
I fully understand.
As we
As
come to
we
intermediate sprint
approach,
here,
we are approaching the intermediate sprint. Let us see what is going to happen. Merlier is well at the wheel of Swift,
Groenewegen,
and what Davi just did, you saw it.
yep,
Davis
Smart
stopped
from David.
Swift to try to win with another rider, but everything was fine to Groenewegen that took the points thanks to Melier being stopped by Swift. What a move by Davi! He tried his best to get that point, but he failed. And Dennis is the one that gets these 5 points.
I think if Davi used Kwiatkowski and led out Ben Swift and then dropped Garner off, I think that might have worked. However, I think Groenewegen was just a little bit too strong for Kwiatkowski there in the sprint.
Probably you're right. And as we approach, we are more or less 10 kilometers away from the start of Cobertoria. We saw Ghosty dropping Melier to the group to work a bit. Do you think this 1 minute and a half, almost 1 minute and a half advantage is positive for the breakaway? Do you think Ghosty and Gabi will pay a lot have this difference, or do you think it doesn't matter that much?
No, I'd much rather be in Gabby's situation here, if I'm being perfectly honest, because I think just looking at this breakaway, Gabby can afford to just use up Navadolskus on this climb with there only being three climbs technically today. Obviously the Angliru, as I've mentioned before, you don't need too many teammates in the last 5 or 6 kilometers because it's mostly just above 10-15% anyway. So I think if Gary does lose Navadolskus, it's not going to be a big deal. I think his his only problem is if the group out front really start to push on with their flat riders, because I've seen a couple of teams taking the cobble rider for the 79 flat aspect.
That's
Um,
very interesting. I didn't comment it still, but you said you saw what teams having this 79 flat guy to try
yep.
to
I
what
think
team?
I think Davies just realised that likely if he was to take the 76 cobble guy, yes, he does have 6 more mountain, but obviously he has a lot less flat stat, and obviously his secondaries are a lot worse. Like
And
if
let me
Davies,
interrupt you just for a bit because we
yep,
saw Davi attacking and Davi's and Bernal just got into the front group.
and this is where Garner's going to be very, very useful. He's just going to burn up Garner now on the flat. Very, very good flat stat, and he'll look to take on the stage with the rest of his 5 riders, I'm guessing.
Ghana is even too fast. He lets the group down. He needs to wait a bit for the group as we approach and we start Cobertoria 7 kilometers, almost 8 kilometers at
As we
8.8%
see, Big Dog
upper.
going for a move as well. Big Dog going for a move, trying to bridge up to his 3 riders in the breakaway.
It's certainly important. He's trying to follow Davi's strategy here. And
Ghosty working on the front.
okay, and Ghosty and Hush are waiting a bit. So is Gabi. I think as Navadauskas is the first rider to be out of this stage.
Yep,
He has absolutely no
understandable.
points.
Yep, understandable. I think Gavi's plan was just to maintain the breakaway as best he can, just only use up one rider, which was Navadoskus, and save the rest of the energy with his domestiques. As we
This
see,
is something I really appreciate from David is that I commented it already in the first stage is that he has absolutely no fear of trying to break the races. He
yep,
tries to create his own race. He tries to force the others to play the way he wants, and he is not that type. There are a lot of great players that just wait for the others to do better than them. Davi is certainly not the case. He tries to do the best at his own way.
yep.
I'm referring, for example, to Dennis, that is a player that we know it's more conservative and tries not to break the races, but Davi certainly does, and that's something we appreciate as a spectacle thing to see.
As we see, Kwiatkowski's definitely going, excuse me, for the KOM here, being followed by Kovili and Krishvik.
Yeah,
Um,
Krushvik is the 72 mountain, so he has
yep.
not a lot of chances here of getting this mountain, but Kwiatkowski is very strong right now.
As we see, it's definitely Sean's one of his main objectives to secure this KOM. He's going to probably take second place to Kwiatkowski here.
We are sure he is going to take second place.
Solidified. Oh, he's going to get
No,
first.
he actually get first.
He's going to
Amazing.
solidify his position in the KOM.
That's a small mistake by Davi on the management of the cyclist, I think, because Kwiatkowski died just 300 meters before
And
the
we see
line.
some splits here. We see some splits in the peloton.
We are
People
seeing
have
some
been
split.
dropped with Gabby and Davi also 30 seconds adrift.
Yeah, we have
And Dennis is
clearly
going to pace
Gabi
him.
and
Dennis
Davi
has got
dropping
four guys.
from
Dennis
the
has
group.
got four guys. So he's going to pace with Kreisvik now.
The big dog is also paying the effort. He's even behind. The big dog is even behind the group of Gabi and Davi.
Yep.
So it's and Gabi is insulting Davi in the chat.
I think for Big Dog it's just to not panic here, just to go a 60 effort with Carboni and
We
save his teammates because his two teammates that he's got with him have very bad downhill
certainly.
static.
And now
So
now
he just needs to keep them and then probably use Benefato on this flat section and then just bridge the gap
and
in his own time.
Ghosty knows it's his moment. Ghosty knows it's his moment, and he
Yeah,
passes
Ghosting
to
Dennis and Hush, all of them with four riders here.
yes. Hosh, Dennis, and Ghosty have broken this stage in a way that we were not expecting at all. I
Yeah,
don't know if the big dog is going to be able to recover. I don't know if Gabi is going to be able to recover. Davi probably is. Is right now is pushing very strong to get into the group again. Gabi is also now pushing hard, but the big dog is far behind. It's a
I,
lot
I,
here.
I think for the people who dropped now, it's just not about panicking, but they need to get into the main group by the top of the climb because
So certainly,
if you look at
certainly,
if you look at the descent of the Alto del Cordal,
yes. And
it's not very steep. It's not very steep.
Davi is there. Davi is in the group, and
Yep, everyone is back now.
Gabi is just getting in there, and the big dog also. But
Carboni paying a big effort there to get back
yes,
up.
Carbon is paying it hard. He's paying it hard in this moment.
But
Probably the
yeah,
same way.
he has to make that group though because if he wants to get into the recovery situation on the descent, he has to be in this group. He can't be cheating on before the end.
Certainly, but what is the point of spending Carboni here when you need it to win the stage?
That is true. However, I think if he's played this well enough, he should be able to recuperate with Carbone in the descent.
This is not a very typical descent. I need to say to you, this
Yep.
descent of Alto del Cordal is a descent that you don't recover fully. You need to pace really slow to recover it. And
But
there,
he's gonna recover more when he's in the group compared to chasing on
yeah,
back of
sure.
the
No, you
descent.
are you are absolutely right. We have no doubt about that. And we have a peloton of 16 going down Cordal and approaching Angliru. So a small review of who is in the group. Dennis has three riders on the group. Davi has three riders on the group. Gabi also three. Ghosty has three. And the big dog has only two riders. And Hush has also three. So
Big Dog getting his third rider back now, so I think it's just Davy who doesn't have his third rider back in the group.
correct. I think Davi is the
Kwiatkowski's
only.
just dropped off the back.
Askiatkowski is just behind. Also,
Yep,
Pedrero is can rejoin the group, and probably Hush will have three people on the group as we approach, and we start Angliru right now.
yep. I think
And
it'll just be a little bit of a lull in the action. I don't think anyone's going to want to take the pace up just yet. It
so
is the almost like the weaker sections of the Angliru, only up to like 7 or 8%. Obviously, it's
the
still very steep, but compared to the rest of the climb, it's nothing
yes,
really.
very important, the move that took Kwiatkowski back into the group, but Hush is in this moment with a small advantage due to the fact that he has one more rider than the rest. We know
Yep,
that this doesn't matter that much, but matters a bit. So I think in that point, Hush has a small advantage here against his rivals. Fineto is trying to rejoin the group, but he's probably not going to be able to as we approach one of the hardest parts of Dangliru. Then we have some kilometers that are almost flat, and then we have the very hard part of Dangliru just in front.
yep. I
So
think the first part of this climb is just minimalizing the effort spendage. I
for
think
sure, for
all of the GC riders will want as full enough yellow bar they're gonna get before the main section of this climb starts.
Yes, we
We'll call it
approach
we'll
now the
call it
flat
the
part.
Anglery Point 2, the second part of their climb, I guess we can call it.
Yes, yes, yes. This is the flat part, and now we start the harsh part of the Anglido with Pedrero just dropping from the group.
Yep,
Is
just about to. And he's
is
still hanging on just now, but he's gonna get dropped, I think, with Kwiatkowski.
yeah, yeah, yeah. As soon as someone accelerates, he's going to drop, and so is Kwiatkowski.
I don't
Do
think
you
the
think
teammate
David?
advantage
Do
will
you
make
think
too
David in
much of
this
a
moment
difference.
has some options, or do you think he's probably going to have no
Uh,
option of winning the stage?
yeah, I think for Davi it's just about staying with the main group and then hopefully battling it out in the sprint. I think inevitably it's going to come down to a sprint, depending on how people have played it with their GC guys. I think the people who you'd be looking at are going to be Ghosty, Dennis, and Hush, purely because Gabby's had to chase, Davi's
I
had to
have to
chase,
inform
Big
also
Dog
that
had to
Kovili
chase.
just dropped from the group, so
Indeed.
the big dog is also reduced to two guys.
I don't think it's too bad though on this climb. I think if you were to pick a climb where as long as your leader has full
Hmm.
energy before going into climb, I think we should be fine. As we see Gabby really trying to push on the pace here with
Yes,
Nakane and
Gabi and
Delta.
Hush knows they have the bars. They need to break the others, and they are going for it.
I
I'm
think
also
the big dog and Davi need to be careful. They need to stay within the group because as we know with PCM groups, once you're detached from the group and the game recognizes that, it's a lot harder to chase back on than if you're
But
ready to stay within the
after
group.
that small cut in Cordal, Gabe is actually the last one to drop his third rider. So and now Nakane is dropping. So
Yeah,
there goes
Fernandez
Fernandez
really
alone.
going for this here,
There goes Fernandez alone.
but
He's
he
trying to go for
has
it.
the gap there. He's gonna say needs to get that gap because unless he doesn't get that gap, Hush will just ride up onto his wheel. I'm not sure why Hush is slowing down here, however.
He probably wants
Let me
someone
just go
else
with this.
to try to close the gap,
Yeah,
and we will see as it happens. We remember it's 1.8 kilometers to go. The last 500 meters or so are completely flat, even downhill.
yeah.
So, but till then, we still have 1 kilometer to go, and there goes Fernandez. This small advantage.
I still think Dennis and Ghosty have this. To be honest, I
There
think,
goes
or
Fernandez.
well, even Hush. To be fair, depending on the yellow bar, I still think Gabby won't win the
Carbon is
stage.
completely out. We already
Yeah,
know it. He's going to finish sixth, and there goes
Gabby's
Fernandez.
just gonna hang on. I
I think Gabi will
just
hang
hang
on
on. Yeah,
to a
good sprint. Yeah.
big win by Gabi, and
Well timed, I thought that was. And Davi
well,
just died up.
perfectly well timed. Amazing to see it. Amazing to see it. What a win by Davi, by Gabi. And we have a second place to Dennis. That was leading and will stay leading the general classification. Third place to Ghosty. Fourth place to Hush. Fifth to Davi, and sixth to the big dog that today paid the effort and paid it a lot. This
Yeah,
is this is what happened when you get in the wrong cut, and then you have to spend your 80 guy trying to recover, and then you are completely out of this hard stage. Dello Scalatore gives no space for mistakes like this one, and the big dog paid it hard. At least he got half of his objectives, as he leads the mountain classification by even more than he did before this stage. But stages are more important than the
yep,
mountain classification.
100%. I also think, as I said in commentary as well, I just had a little feeling that Davi wouldn't take the stage and it would be Gabby's race to lose pretty much because I think Davi, even though he probably timed it well getting back on into the group, it's just you have that feeling that he's probably spent a little bit more energy than the other guys. I also have a feeling that Dennis probably went a little bit too late. I would imagine the trio of Dennis, Ghost, and Hush would have a little bit more yellow energy than Fernandez. However, if you don't use your yellow bar, then gonna it's gonna come back to haunt you, I guess, if you go a little bit too late.
I agree with you. So, Big Dog. So, do you have some comments about your third stage? What happened with Carboni?
Well, it was a tough one. That split was really hard to to manage while I was also managing KOM, like you guys said. The half the plan was to get some KOM points. The other part was to stay in the group, try and manage the effort as much as possible. But that cut in the peloton that was quick and it was a bit hard to manage. I ended up paying that effort.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for your comment and good luck for the next stage, for the fourth stage.
So
So
interesting to see Danes has picked up quite a few KOM points here. Um, we see Davi also collecting a few points, and as we've just heard from Big Dog, he was going for the KM, which is what we kind of assumed really, and
okay,
he picked up a few points as well.
let let me just do a small cut here, Joe. We are going out for out of the stream, and we are going to come back in a few moments to the fourth stage. And so we say thank you for everyone that was here during the stream. I'm sad I was not reading the comments in the Twitch. I don't know if some put any comment. If you do, please send me a PM on Discord and I will answer you. And thank you, and till the next stream that will come just ahead. And hello, Fefe. Goodbye.